When you get to that framework in just a second, first, the executive order halts what President Trump calls aggressive enforcement actions and overreach. What is he talking about there?
Yeah, well, Edward, for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has basically prosecuted and persecuted crypto companies, really driving them offshore. I've heard so many outrageous stories by founders, by entrepreneurs. The Biden administration would not tell them what the rules of the road were, and they would then get prosecuted. And what the industry wants more than anything else is regulatory clarity. They're saying, just tell us what the rules are, we will abide by them. And the Biden administration would never do that. And because of that, all the innovation was basically moving offshore, and America was about to lose this technology of the future. And we want that innovation happening here in the United States, and I think it now will happen in the United States because President Trump has declared that the U.S. must be the crypto capital of the world.
The masses have no idea what is upon us. There is a financial reset taking place as we speak, with the cryptocurrency space at the center of it. And a company like Ripple are largely going to enable the United States. And a technology like XRP is going to increase their fiscal and technological dominance globally. That's what we're going to be getting into in this video. Of course, that was David Sachs on Fox. We've got a couple of other clips from him that really kind of highlight XRP's role in all this through stablecoins and ultimately the propagation of the dollar, the democratization of it, the globalization of it, and also he talks about debt. Now, we've been talking about this specifically for a hell of a long time. It's all coming to fruition. XRP holders, you've already won. It's just a case of hanging in there and allowing this journey to take place and not getting shaken out by any of the FUD that's out there. I guess in some senses, this video is also a response to the Bitcoin maximalism out there, the toxic Bitcoin maximalism. These Bitcoin maxis will eat themselves alive because they don't even know what the foundations that they stand upon are. We are no longer following Satoshi's vision. Bitcoin is not a peer-to-peer currency like it was intended to be. It is a store of value, and it was deliberately made that in regards to what happened with the block wars. And anybody that's unfamiliar with that, do go and listen to Roger Ver. His book, Hijacking Bitcoin, is a great one. So there was a lot on Twitter. I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm not going to be nasty about anybody because that's not my place. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, as are you, as am I. What I'm going to do in this video is actually show you that XRP, Ripple, which has been touted all over Twitter as undermining the US, is actually going to do the opposite. Now, there was 3 specific areas that David Sachs spoke about Trump signing. They also have now prohibited the usage of a CBDC or the facilitation of a CBDC. So the question then becomes, well, who is going to enact the digitization of the dollar and the monetary system? It's XRP, likely XLM, and a few other of our plays out there. So what I want to do now is dive into him talking about stablecoins. We've always said this is an area that XRP is going to excel in, and through them doing that, it's going to solve some of the debt issues. It's going to bring trillions into the debt markets, so it's going to help them there. And it's going to digitize the dollar and make the dollar more of a global reserve currency. Now, that is counterintuitive to what this space was born out of, but we are no longer following that trajectory. And there's a massive opportunity. This is one of the first times in history you are going to be able to own a piece of the new financial system. That's exciting. I've got my piece. I hope you've got yours. Let's dive into clip number 2.
2 areas. So number 1, market structure. We need to define what is a security, what's a commodity, what's a digital asset or collectible. So there's a few different categories here. So defining the market structure is important. Second area is stablecoins. I think stablecoins are a really interesting area. It gives us the opportunity to extend the dollar's dominance internationally. We can basically create a digital dollar that people all over the world will use. And then the third area that we're going to look at is we're evaluating this national stockpile for digital assets. We haven't created it yet, but we're going to study that issue.
So there we have David Sachs, who is the crypto and AI czar. He's the guy that stood right there with Trump signing executive orders, really highlighting what we've said for a hell of a long time. Ripple is a technology company, by the way, that was invested in and almost founded by the same people as Facebook and some of these other big tech companies that ultimately the US uses to maintain its dominance. I'll do a video on that tomorrow, guys. We'll talk about Peter Thiel and a whole load of other things. This is an area of interest of mine. We also have an amazing interview that we managed to film with Van Dal, the guy from Black Swan Capital, where we talk about this more broadly. And that couldn't be more timely. So do watch out for that in the week ahead, likely coming out on a Tuesday. But there we have David Sachs talking, first of all, about clear legislation, which XRP has been a fatality of. He also talks about stablecoins. Now, he doesn't talk about CBDC. Stablecoins and CBDCs is the same thing, by the way, guys. It's just not coming from the Federal Reserve. It's the old switcheroo. And he also talks about a digital stockpile. Now, if XRP is going to play this role we think it is, it makes sense for them to actually hold XRP. There's some sort of rumors on how that might come to fruition. Maybe the case gets settled with a donation to the United States from Ripple of XRP. But interestingly, on stablecoins, this was one of them, one of the executive orders. So prohibition of central bank digital currencies, except to the extent required by law. Agencies are hereby prohibited from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote CBDCs within the jurisdiction of the United States or abroad, except to the extent of required by law. Any ongoing plans to or initiatives at any agency related to creation of a CBDC within the jurisdiction of the United States shall be immediately terminated, and no further action may be taken to develop or implement such plans for or innovate initiatives. So who is going to digitize the dollar, guys? I think there's going to be multiple partakers, but Ripple as a company and XRP is going to be the main one. Now let's dive over to the last clip that we have for you of David Sachs talking about stablecoins and why he thinks they're important. He's now saying everything that we've said previously. It's all coming to fruition. You guys would have watched my old videos on this with some of the few to highlight a stablecoin being such a staple in regards to the US's dominance. And this is combating the absolute nonsense that's out there in regards to XRP and Ripple undermining America. No, that is not the case. It is doing the exact opposite. It's innovating it, and it's going to further its position globally, monetary and technologically. Let's dive into this next clip.
So this executive order bans agencies from developing a central bank digital currency. Why is that?
Well, CBDCs are a real threat to freedom and liberty. What you're talking about there is moving to a central bank digital currency that would be run out of Washington by the Fed and would basically gradually replace cash and catalog everybody's transactions. And it could lead to new laws and dictates about how people spend their money. So I think people are very concerned that that could be an Orwellian path to go down. No one wants to go down that path. And I think we can create stablecoins, basically digital dollars, without doing that. So the executive order is really clear. We want to create a regulatory framework for stablecoins, but we don't want to go down the path of CBDCs.
But a digital currency for a government could be competition to Bitcoin. Did that play into that decision?
Well, I mean, any government can create a stable coin. So, but I think the U.S. Dollar is already the world's reserve currency. So I'm not really worried about competition there. I just want to extend, or I believe that what we should be doing is extending the dollar's dominance into digital areas, extend it online. And I think that could actually create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries. It could be really useful to us in basically supporting our debt and also bringing down long-term interest rates.
Did I say anything more? Everything we've spoken about is happening today, ladies and gentlemen. And I didn't want to directly attack any individual putting his opinion out there in regards to Bitcoin and the XRP. The Bitcoin maxis are some of the dumbest people in the room. In fact, they are, because what they have done is failed to understand the broader application of this technology. It's like any technology before it, only coming up with one use case and saying, that's it, everything else is a SHIT project, which they do. And boy, oh boy, it gets just so much worse for them from here on out. I could actually see XRP certainly flipping Bitcoin, or certainly flipping Ethereum, potentially Bitcoin. And it has actually in 2017 done that once already. Let's talk about XRP from a price point of view. You guys know the drill. We were expecting this move. We've had it. This is an initiatory move that sees us move, in my opinion, to $19.27. Since this move, there's just been continuation structure after continuation structure after continuation structure in the form of pennants or symmetrical triangles. You're getting one again today, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to take us to that $4.30 target. Remember, our initial target, which was hit perfectly, was $3.36 off of this pattern here. That's been hit. Look at where you sold off. This squeeze is likely going to take you to our bigger target, which is likely then going to take you to $11. And then eventually $19.27. Let's drop down time frames and see what we're doing on the shorter time frames. So this is just going to lead to a similar thing to what we've seen before. I think this week is going to be a very interesting one. We have rate cuts coming, or non-rate cuts, but the Fed decision coming on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of interesting things. Guys, if you want to take your journey to the max, if you want to capitalize on all these opportunities, do become a Patreon. all the big movers, we're in. And we have been, and we've got a community of people that can attest to that. We're only going to continue to dominate this space from a kind of ROI point of view. And do become a subscriber if you're not already. And if you want to take your step forward, there's a link to the Patreon. There's also early interview releases and things like that if you want to get on board with that. But that's really it from me, guys. So our theory on the US adopting Ripple or XRP to further the dollar's role globally is all now coming to fruition. And this actually benefits America, not takes away from it like the maxis would have you believe. I love Bitcoin. In some senses, I am a Bitcoin maxi in the sense that I think it's the store of value crypto, but I think it's that. I don't think it's a peer-to-peer currency like it was initially intended to be. And the people still believing that lie just need to go and study Bitcoin's history. And Roger Ver's Hijacking Bitcoin book is a great one. We're not doing ourselves any favors by saying any of this, but we're saying it because we love you guys and we want you to do well. And we're in this journey together. I've already changed my life in the crypto space. You guys are about to. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I'll see you all in the next one.